If you've got a Jeep JL Wrangler and are planning to lift it 3 inches or more, you're gonna need to do something about these guys right here. These are your parking brake cables, and as you can see from the factory, they're routed up and over this cross member right here. The problem is that when you start to run shocks or something like coilovers that allow for a lot more droop, these parking brake cables effectively become limiting straps. Now, there is an easy fix for this, and it's to simply relocate these cables underneath the cross member. But you're going to need one of these to do it. As you can see, this is a Synergy parking brake relocation bracket, and it's designed to help hold the cables in place after it's relocated underneath the cross member. Fortunately, this is super easy to install, and it can totally be done with your Jeep on the ground. In fact, I would highly recommend that you do. But for the purposes of this video, I'm actually going to go ahead and raise our Jeep, put our axle on some jack stands, and remove our wheels and tires so that you can see what we're doing. So to begin, you'll want to make sure that your Jeep is parked on level ground, that your transmission is in park, or if you have a manual, that it's in gear, and of course you want to make sure that your parking brake is disengaged. Okay, so now we can start taking things apart. Using a 13mm socket and extension, we're going to go ahead and remove this bolt right here, which is for the bracket that secures the parking brake cables to the bottom of the tub. Alright, next we're going to disconnect this parking brake cable from the drum assembly, and you're going to need a couple of vice grips to do that. Okay, and finally we're going to go ahead and remove the cable from this tab on the axle. So we're just going to pull this forward a bit, and you can see there are these little prongs. Take our vice grips. There we go. All right, so now that we've got the parking cables free, I can go ahead and pull these up and through and reroute them underneath the cross member. Okay, so now using a 10mm socket, we're going to go ahead and remove these two nuts that are securing the TPMS module to the cross member. Time to get this thing installed. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and remove these rubber grommets, and then we can slip them onto the studs on the cross member. Using the factory nuts, we can go ahead and secure it in place. Okay, we're on the home stretch now. We're going to take these rubber grommets, slide them onto the parking brake cables, and then when you get to this foam section, it's a little bit tougher, but you can kind of work it or even roll it on like I'm doing here, and then just bring it all the way up. Once these rubber grommets are in line with the Synergy relocation bracket, you can slide them into their cradles. From here, all we need to do is reconnect the parking brake cable onto the axle tab and then hook it onto the back of the drum assembly. And that's all there is to it. Your axle should now be able to take full advantage of the droop that your longer shocks or coilovers provide. We'll see you next time.